yeah, major scale stuff. We'll go through pattern 1, C major. I guess could have saved this for the end, but pretty much with all of this stuff, it's where you want to start before you get into the modes. And understanding that each one has its own sound, vibe, feel, taste, flavor, whatever you want to call it. So what you want to get familiar with is the sound of the major scale, because that's what you're going to make changes to if you reference back to anytime people start talking about scale degrees and like flat third, flat anything, you know, or raising it, so making it sharp. Those changes that get made to the major scale formula, the tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So you're going to change it, you know. So instead of being tone, tone, semitone, it might be like semitone, tone, tone, semitone, whatever. But yeah. Before getting all fancy with that formula stuff, you can try just having your ear used to it. So the sound of a major scale. Guess I'll go clean for this. I'll turn that up though. So how that sounds, just try to kind of get that stuck in your head, but I'll go back to rambling later. And we'll get started with the pattern 1. So C major, it'll be starting on our C note. So that's going to be on the 8th fret with the big E string. And these are going to be 3 notes per string patterns. So you have C, and then your D note, so that's going to be your 10th fret. And then you're going to have your E note, which is your 12th fret. So 8, 10, 12. And it's going to be the same on the A string. So 8, 10, 12. So that's C, D, E, F, G, A. So it's the same shape on both those strings. And then it was 8, 10, 12. Now it's going to be 9, 10, 12. So we got our 9th fret on the D string, 10th fret, and then 12. So B, C, D. And then it's going to be the same thing on the G. So 9, 10, 12. So we got, starting from the beginning, on our C note, which is our root. So we have 8, 10, 12, C, D, E. 8, 10, 12 on the A string, so F, G, A. And on the D string, it's going to be 9, 10, 12, so that's going to be B, C, D. On the G, it's 9, 10, 12, so that's E, F, G. And then the B and E strings are going to have the same pattern, so we have 10, 12, 13. So that's going to be A, B, C, 10, 12, 13. And then 10, 12, 13 on the E. That's D, E, F. starting from the beginning, I'll play each string a couple times before going to the next. So we're going to start on the C note, our root, 8th fret of the E string. It's going to be 8, 10, 12. So 10, 12, and again, that's C, D, E, A string. Same pattern with the fingers, so 8, 10, 12. That's F, G, A. Going to the D. That's 9, 10, 12 for B, C, D. Same frets, but on the G this time, so 9, 10, 12. So that's E, F, G. B string, 10, 12, 13. That's A, B, C. And 10, 12, 13 on the high E string, so that's D, E, F. So getting started, you can just kind of familiarize yourself with that, and then you can kind of pick what fingers you want to use. I've always ended up just kind of, if there is any reaching going on the fretboard, I've done more of the reaching with my index and middle finger. And then I've always found that like my pinky then is just kind of on that 2nd fret. Good to go. You know, some guys or gals, they end up, they kind of like doing the stretch between their ring finger and their pinky, which you can do, but, you know, whatever works for you. That kind of works for me, so my index, middle, pinky, index, middle, pinky. And it's the same for these ones. There's just not a real stretch between these two fingers this time. And then on the B and E strings, it's index, ring, pinky. So yeah, just kind of get familiar with that. You can play it like that. This is a cool one to start introducing, I guess, like a legato kind of thing. So if you want to sort of practice it, memorize the shape, but then if you kind of want to break out of that super practicey scale sounding thing, you can pick the first note and then just do hammer-ons. So then it's like a scale exercise with a hammer-on exercise. And you can do the opposite too, so you could play the highest note on the string and then just pull off all the way down. And you could switch that up, so you could go up the scale but do the pull-offs, so it would be not necessarily starting on that root note, but starting on the big E string, so and then you could do hammer-ons on your way down, so. And if you ever want to give it a real resolve thing, you just end on a chord or a triad inversion, something like that. And yeah, mess around with that. Not the craziest shape, but it is good for starting off with that like legato kind of thing. And even you can just stay on one string and just pick that first one and go. Stuff like that. Just kind of start messing around. Let the I don't know if that's like ADD or whatever kick in, but just kind of start playing whatever. But you do want it to be clean throughout that. Like you don't want it to be you got to start off slow. Start off slow. Cool. So yeah, that's pattern 1. Enjoy that. And then, yeah, so I'll do other videos specifically explaining other keys in pattern 1, but like feel free to take that and move it around. Just know that whatever your first note is, so that's your root, C major. So if you take that shape and you move it down to your 3rd fret, so you play that shape starting from here. You've just played G major. That's why you'll probably end up and I don't know, rambling again, but you'll start to recognize that the patterns are repeating. So like, even though it's a different key, pattern 1 is going to be pattern 1. And you do want to end up at a place of not having to kind of jump around with pattern 1 all the time. So if you're in the key of like C, don't jump to play pattern 1 here. You know, like there's the other like, 6 patterns to learn. So you can be in one spot and play, C major at this spot, wherever you want. And then be able to at some point, like I know there was one time I went to a workshop and this guy, he played every mode, and at the time it blew my mind because I was like, how is he thinking of it that fast? But like C major, like Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Phrygian, and Phrygian? No, Locrian. Did I say Locrian? I don't think I said Locrian. That was supposed to be Locrian. I think I said Phrygian. But, yeah. He did that and it blew my mind. But then it's just like he's just playing all of the patterns starting on that root note. So, yeah. 7 patterns. You learn them, you move them around, and then you'll fit into whatever key you need to. So, I'll stop there and let you work on that. But yeah, just work on that. Throw in extra stuff, hammer on pull-offs to kind of break it out of the kind of really rigid, strict scale sound. And then again, if you have a looper or even somebody to jam with, they can just play a C major chord. Just start, have the scale shape memorized and then just play whatever notes in that scale just to try actually using it. So, enjoy.